Also the door. Mhm. Dobrze by było. Okay, we will start now. Sorry, very sorry for the delay. It was due to some technical issues that we had. So, welcome very much to our WarsawJS Meetup number 131. Woohoo! We gathered here to get some more information about JavaScript and the world related to JavaScript. And so let's start. We are streaming also, so welcome to you who are here on site and also online. About?
Do you have a link?
Link to
stream?
Yeah.
Is there a link available publicly?
If there is a link available, there is.
Yes,
there is.
WarsawJS.com/live.
Yeah. WarsawJS.com/live.
And it should even work.
Nice. Alexander wants to be here on site and online at the same time.
Yep.
Very great. Good. WarsawJS. What is WarsawJS? WarsawJS is our local community of JavaScript professionals and enthusiasts. We meet each month, every second Wednesday of the month, to talk about your favorite language, programming language, which is JavaScript. Yoo-hoo! We focus on sharing this experience from different JS fields, from web browsers to servers, dev tools, mobile, smart TVs, microcontrollers, databases, video games, and any others. WarsawJS has over 10 years of experience, and it organized over 200 events. You might wonder why over 200 if it's the meetup is of the number 131, and I'll show you now in a second why. So, WarsawJS organized not only meetups. So meetups are, WarsawJS meetups are happening, as said, on Wednesdays, on every second Wednesday of the month. But we also do organize conferences, as you can see, Conference.js. The last Conference.js conference was last year. The next one is going to be next year. We organize also workshops. If you are interested in any workshop related to JavaScript world, just let us know and we will provide it for you. We also provide mentoring. We are going to have, or we have actually already, a dedicated channel on Discord where you can go there and ask for mentoring, or you can become a mentor. We also organize WarsawJS jams, which are going to happen now in the future. So we had also Cursor AI jams, which were in spring and summer. Now we are switching back to WarsawJS jams. So if you want to take a part in WarsawJS jam, just go on our website, WarsawJS.com. There's the information about WarsawJS jam, and you can sign up there for this jam. And we will send you the information when it's going to happen. We have also a blog where we have articles all about JavaScript. And if you would like also to contribute to this, to have your own article also posted on this page, on our page, just go also on WarsawJS.com, and you can also contact us and say what kind of article you would like to offer. Photo sessions. If you would like to have a professional photo shooting, we can provide it to you also before the meetup. Just let us know in front so that we know about it. And one of the news, we were on Slack. We are switching now to Discord for different reasons. And those who were on the Slack already, you got an email or the message also on the channels that we are switching to Discord, where you can just click and join us on Discord. If you're not on Slack, you didn't get this information, this is how you can join us. So if you scan the code, this is going to Discord, and then you can join our Discord. I'll give you a second to scan it. Okay. What is our mission? The mission, so WarsawJS exists to support both professional and novice software developers within the IT community. We intend to accelerate the education process by sharing our knowledge and experience. Although our community was established in Warsaw, we are now internationally renowned. This is largely thanks to our global network of members and sponsors. WarsawJS is actually for everyone, so everyone can join it. We are proud to be able to provide a safe, friendly, and welcoming environment for all, regardless of gender, sexual orientation, ability, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, religion, or lack of thereof. Our policies are clearly defined and readably available. By complying with the Berlin Code of Conduct, we can contribute to its open source repository. We are open to all levels of IT understandings, so from junior to senior levels. Members who are new to the industry will have unlimited access to an extensive amount of practical experience and advice. So this is our mission. I would like also to show you who is in our team, who is organizing all of this. First of all, I'm the MC for today. Yeah, I'm not always there. I'm Martyna Skup. Now is coming our team. So those two people, Piotr Ziętara, which is there in the back, and Sasha Michałowska, which is here in front. Without those two people, WarsawJS would not exist at this moment. So big thank you for you to organizing it. We have also volunteers, without whom it would also be very difficult, I guess, to organize all of those things. So please give a big hand to Agnieszka, Dowód Beck, Mehdi, Piotr, Małgorzata, Martyna, Jakub, Kacper, Krzysztof, and Krzysiek. Without you and without us, it would be really hard, I guess, to organize all of this. As I said, we have this volunteers team, and we are still looking for people who would like also to join us, to join our volunteers team. We are looking for you, maybe. Especially if you would like to make some pictures of on our events, like at the moment Piotr does. You don't have to be a pro. You are very, very welcome to come here and also help us with taking pictures of the event. But if you're not a photo shooter, you can also join us. You're very, very welcome. There's a lot of things to do here to organize those meetings. So you can contact us by email or also on Discord. On Discord, we have a dedicated channel where you can go and just let us know, hey, I want to be a volunteer, yeah, and we will get in touch with you. So we have talks here. We have like longer talks. We have also lightning talks here. If you would like to be on the stage and talk about any topic that is related to JavaScript world, is it on the junior level? Is it on the expert level? Doesn't matter. You can share it with us. So if you scan the code, you have also this code there around the room. We just hang those pictures of it. You can sign up for a talk. And you're very welcome to be here on the stage. And if you think that any of your colleagues who is not in WarsawJS, who is not attending maybe those meetings, if this person with whom you work or you just know If you think that this person has or can say something, like teach us something new or something very interesting because he or she is working on some interesting project, let them know. Let them say, like, hey, come to WarsawJS, have a speech about it. We would love to learn from your experience. Coming from our team to sponsors. Without sponsors, those meetups also would exist, but maybe not. Yeah, this is like a question mark. Very, very much we would like to thank to Dropbox, the Protocol IT, and Xfang. Dropbox is our host today, so this is why we are here in Brain Embassy. And we have Janetta. Yes, we have Janetta from Dropbox, and she would like to say a few words about Dropbox.
Hi, thank you for having us. I think I'm following your community from the beginning, from the first meetup. Remember, Piotr? Yeah, so it's a pleasure to be here. And we are in Brain Embassy because we don't have offices in Warsaw. We don't have offices in Poland. We work in, we call it virtual first environment. And we hiring like crazy in Poland right now. We are building the biggest engineering hub for EMEA region. We are hiring a lot of engineers. We are building a lot of very independent teams here with a huge impact. So we're here to tell you a word that we are here, we are hiring, and also to share a little bit of knowledge. Kuba, who is one of our Dropboxers, one of our engineers, will have a lightning talk today. And we'll stay after, so if you have any questions, it's like, I am the recruiter, of course, but if you want to talk also to engineers, there are guys with me. If you can stand up and show yourselves, maybe. So yeah, approach them, ask many questions. They are here for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So yeah, if you would like to speak about Dropbox and get to know Dropbox a bit more, go to Janetta or also Janetta, nice, right? Go to Janetta or also one of her colleagues, and you can get more information about it. The second sponsor for us is also the Protocol IT. Just a second. Yeah. And we have a small introduction for you from the Protocol IT. So if you're interested also in the Protocol IT, just go on their website. There is a QR code also. You can also scan it. Coming from our sponsors to partners. Our partner is also KMac and JetBrains. And thanks to JetBrains, we are also giving away the licenses of JetBrains products, IDs. And today you can win JetBrains license if you're going to ask a very nice question that the speakers are going to like. So after each talk, we have a few minutes of questions, and the speaker will choose then the person who is going to win the license. The questions, you can ask the questions here, but also online, you can also ask questions on the at the streaming. So let's come to our speakers. We have three big talks today. We have Alexander Dolgov talking about tuning models into extensible platforms with JS. Keanu Harel, who is going to speak about how to build serious infra without losing your sanity, Fat SST Dev. And Damian Bialecki, the type of Rodo, who is going to speak about privacy by design, GDPR for people who write code, not laws. So I would like to ask Alexander on the stage. Please give him a big hand. So Alexander, the stage is yours.
Thank you, guys. At least somebody is not sleeping yet. So let's talk about some JavaScript in the world of LLMs and how can you personally use it in your life. And I could try to share some insights that are useful for me. So why at all you should bother listening to me, who I am? I have a lot of experience in development and started as a JavaScript programmer. I worked for Google for 3 years, and now I'm a CTO in AI startup building industrial AI. But more related to this talk, I'm a big fan of optimization of work things, work stuff, and I use LLMs a lot for this. And I'll try to inspire you to do more in this area as well. Sorry, the clicker is not working, but let's do this. Why I am here? To explore these JavaScript technologies beyond the agents and to inspire you to do the same as I said, and to have fun together. I will try to explain why exactly JavaScript, why it's not Python for any reason, what are the agents, and we will try to see how we can build one from scratch. I will not write the code here, but we will see it how it's built from the scratch. What is MCP in this terminology and what is A2A? There's two protocols that are modern right now, and they're in development and well developed now. And I will share some insights, after all, trying to share my management experience, maybe. So, no, let me just ask you, who is familiar with agents? Yeah, few hands. Who can create the agent from the scratch? 3 hands. That's good.
With agent or without?
Sorry?
Using agent or without?
Using agent, creating agent?
Yeah.
Why not? Yes?
So I think also.
Yeah, I guess. So I will try to explain some basics to share. But for now, for the beginning, let's start from the JavaScript and why it's JavaScript, because everything in ML world is a Python regularly. So why JavaScript? JavaScript becomes de facto standard for extensibility of applications, starting from Chrome, which is extensible by JavaScript extensions in the browser. It started to become more available in desktop applications, started to VS Code and Slack and Obsidian. And then two monsters like Notion and Figma, they create their plugins with JavaScript. Before even that, Photoshop was creating automations and plugins with JavaScript. And well-known N8N right now, it's as well, it's used JavaScript for extensions. And Node-RED is quite similar to N8N, but for IoT, and many more. And that becomes a native language for edge and serverless applications like Cloudflare workers. They use Node.js as a native language. Many other platforms beyond Cloudflare, they started from Deno deploy, and they started to use it as their engine to run some scripts. So a lot of which are listed here, they use JavaScript or Den or Bun to run the JavaScript code, and this becomes standard for serverless functions. Now it's a native language for ML in browsers because OpenGL is now available in any browser, and now it becomes a standard for ML there. So you can, for example, run some TensorFlow model offline in browser. So you don't need online. Or TransformerJS model, which is language model as well. And finally, that's a native language of ourselves, right? We used to write JavaScript, and we can use it for our application reasons. So what is an agent? An agent is not something complicated. It's just some set of code, like a function or some methods or class, which is using, or a program, which is using LLM to think. So it can delegate thinking to LLM and then get a result back. So what does it do exactly? It gets text, it understands the tasks that you're given, it chooses the right tool if it's needed, and it can execute the code or return some JSON to execute the right code. Real example that I started from like a year ago, when the agent were not so popular yet, I created for our workflow, I created a simple agent that read the message from the Slack, which is in support channel, and it goes to that database, to vector database, to check if there was already similar issue in the Jira. And then if it's find the Jira ticket, it returns the Jira ticket or several of them. And if not, it just says that there's no such ticket and please create one. When the user clicks create, it goes like this. So it creates a ticket with quite well-structured description of what was needed to be done. User can just edit some fields, but usually it reduces friction when the user has to fill the form by himself. So let's try to explore some simple agent and to see what we can do with the agent. Here I'm showing some code of the function that goes to switch on the remote lamp, and it can, so yeah, let's do the chat. So basically it's just regular chat with LLM. And it returns a basic string answer. It's based on the GPT-4 model, so it's not anything complicated. And I could ask him, can you switch the light on? And ta-da! Welcome. So let's explore some code to just to understand what's going on here. This is a package which starts the core, and the core is all about talking to LLM about what you should do and what you should return. Then it returns JSON with proper structure, and if its structure fits the expectation, function is executed to turn it off, turn on and off the light. Good. Let's go further.
Sorry, is this code available online?
Yes, I will share it.
Cool.
Now, Anthropic introduced MCP, which is Model Context Protocol, which makes everything easier because you need to enroll LLMs to your model, and it's kind of complicated to implement it by yourself. So MCP makes everything easier, and what does it do? It is a universal protocol to exchange the code with LLM, your information, and basically it could allow agent to perform real actions that you allow them to do. and it could work locally on your machine or remotely on the server to perform some calculations. And it allows LLM, so MCP allows LLM to use your code which is remote or local. And why it matters? Because it creates a composition, or it could create a composition of model that you could combine together to make some tasks. Like for maybe NA10, it's used exactly this. You could connect anything, not only code. You could connect databases and APIs to this. It is reusable, so anyone could use it. And you even could distribute these MCP tools to other guys to use it. And you could use theirs. So that's the code for the basic code for Model Context Protocol. You just create a server from the library, which is available. You could assign handlers. You could export what it is allowed to do. And it's live.
Could you just go back a bit? Do you want questions during the talk or after the talk?
Yeah, I would prefer probably after the talk because there's timing.
There's a dedicated time after the talk.
Yeah. So we will just switch to our basic code, which turn on and turn off the bulb, the lamp. And yeah, I do have it running. And what it basically allow us to do, it's allow us to use regular like Claude, for example, or this windsurf. So what can we do with this? Can you turn the light on with MCP? That's a regular Claude applications with, and here we are. Please turn it off now. Here we are. Yeah, I need to note that in MCP, there's two ways of connecting LLMs to the MCP tools themselves. One is the server-side events for remote servers, and the second is just a STD in or out for local execution. And if you want to experiment, Claude only supports local ones. There's adapters for making remote like a local, but just to note, just if you want to experiment, there's some tricks with this. Yeah, and regarding the sharing some MCP tools, there's even Docker MCP toolkit, which is available in Docker desktop. So you could install the latest version of Docker, and there's already out of the box, ready to use, bunch of MCP toolkits which you connect or which you can use to connect your tools like Playwright, databases, Playwright for execution, some actions in the browser, or in the mobile emulator. Any kind of tools that's more than 200, I guess. And also it's open source, then you could distribute there, and there's a how to distribute there in the repository of Docker. I will share it later. Now, in my opinion, that's practical part, and I will switch slides further if I will not make it in time, but I will share it. What is A2A? A2A is a Google standard that they introduced to create the models-to-model communication. So it's agent-to-agent, basically. Why they created it? Because it could allow us to create some meshes, some networks of agents between the without centralized controller LLM. Let's say, yeah, I will share later some use cases, but basically let's share why how it's set inside. So each agent in the agent-to-agent protocol has model card, which represents what agent can do. For example, forecast the weather. And the format of messaging between agents, it's JSON RPC. Well, again, some reference to JS World. Here's the use cases. So basically, agent-to-agent protocol was created to avoid centralized network of LLMs. And it allows us to reduce some use the pros and reduce cons of using centralized systems. So let's say, for example, there's some few vendors, and they're not trust each other to execute the model in their context. And they could expose their models as agent to share some function or methods to be executed by the other model, and the other vendor could do this as well. And they will not share neither infrastructure, not the data. They will only allow the model to communicate the proper way that is allowed. There's no one point of failure issue. So if one model is not available, the other could be. There's no problem with when you have a centralized LLM, you need to tell which exactly agent are or could be used. In this scenario, in decentralized architecture, you don't have to explore exactly now running agents. And it allows more flexible scaling. Yeah, bonus track. 2 days before I started 2 days before this presentation, OpenAI discovered and published Agent Builder. I am welcoming you to explore it because it allows to build your own agent with interface. And as well, it allows to use MCP server that you built before. So you can chain the agents, including MCPs that you created before. So let's jump to insights. I see that JavaScript becomes the lingua franca, the language that the model or the tools communicate through. And it started from the browser and more wide experience of using browser and a browser engine like Node, and becomes the standard for plugin for WASM, WebAssembler, and edge computations like on a serverless function. And what I was going to tell you about MCP. MCP also becomes a standard for such things as a model to LLM communication, and I would like to share the idea that you should probably know about it more and better. And as Python becomes the standard, de facto conventional standard for data, JavaScript becomes a conventional standard for the model-to-model communication. And there's some manager thoughts that I wanted to share. That's kind of obvious idea that as a developers, our value is more when we think end to end, when you can create a thing that you can later sell, or when you can at least think about what the user needs, the end user needs. And it started to become even more valuable in the latest time when the GPT allows us to create fast prototypes. But what should I create as a developer? Because there's already created such things that everything is already written. What should I do? I think that the FOMO, fear of missing out, is always presenting here, and we just need to step in this escalator and just go beyond. one thing about the software, and the software is changing, and it becomes smarter. And if recently we paid, as a customers, we paid for the software this much, and for users who can use it, who can press the buttons, that much. Now, with LLMs and those solutions, we could pay this for what we can code, and the program itself will push the buttons, not the users. So the salary of users, or the amount of money that we spend on users is less than before. But our demand is always the same, and we always need to be full, to eat. We always need to live somewhere, and our demands becomes like they're not changing, and that is constant in this changing world. So I'm trying to inspire you to create your own applications, whatever you want to create, like with all these available now features. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. That was very inspiring. Do we have any questions from the audience? And I also want to remind people who are online on streaming that you can also ask questions there. So, I think there.
Hello. Oftentimes, when I use Cursor and other coding tools, I find that AI tends to make mistakes, and in order to force them to make less mistakes, there are a lot of tools like rules and memory bank and more stricter coding standards like linters and so on. What is your recommendations on coding with AI and for applications that are agentic? When you build agentic applications, how to make your coding agent to make less mistakes, or to guide them to make less mistakes and be aligned with your vision?
Yeah, thank you. Kind of interesting question to share my experience. So first of all, there could be separation of the roles. So you could try to build an architecture with a role of architect, and then try to make for example, test drive development, to write the code by the testers, like who understand what application should do, and then some basic development to write the code itself. There's also Anthropic Cloud Code, which does it by default. So it separates the roles by itself. You could just type the task, and it will separate the roles.
These are like 3 agents or 3 LLMs that are...
No, basically it's a single model, but it just separates the roles. So it says, now you're architect. Please create an architecture for this and this. Now you're a developer. Now you're a tester. And
in a single conversation.
it goes in a single flow, yes. What else? Yes, TDD rules. I mean, test-driven development as it was before. So it's a popular thing, and it works. You first write test. You check the test that it works. I mean, that it contains all you need, and then you write the application. It doesn't. It doesn't limit the errors like at all, but it reduces the idea of. You understand? That's probably it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions?
Hi, thanks for your talk. I wanted to ask regarding the agent development. if we develop an agent to automate some user scenarios, do you have any particular insights into system prompts and which are the best ones, or how to develop an optimal one?
It's probably quite related to the question before. So it's quite close to regular development, and there's nothing specific in development of agents. Like it's not too specific, I would say.
Yeah, but you know, the size of the system prompts matters, especially if it's like, for example, the size of the system prompt can matter, and especially if it's production-ready agent, sometimes they require specific tweaks to probably save tokens or just, you know, to optimize something. Do you have like any practical experience or any advice regarding exactly system prompts for the agents?
I wouldn't say so, but generally it's, as I said before, it's quite close to the question before, how you create the software with AI. So you need to limit it by the restrictions, by the requirements, system requirements or non-system requirements that you have. And the prompt itself it's the same programming by words.
Hello, thank you for the talk. So actually touching a bit on that, but digging deeper. So when you are testing your software that uses agent, do you have any specific tests for the prompts, and also to find out what are the cheapest prompts that will do just fine, how to optimize them, and then test that they're still doing fine? I mean, do you use some tools like, I don't know, PromptFu or LangFuse to help you out with automating those tests? And when do you decide that you're using the cheapest available model that will do the work?
Yeah, there's tools. I don't remember the URL for the link, but there's tools to count tokens, and you can. I don't automate it, but you can use the token counter. You can use different ways to, if you want to avoid hacking. It's another talk, how to avoid hacking LLMs. I could probably search for this. I mean, what was used in the experience in our team. For now, just some simple tools to do this.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any questions from the streaming? No. Okay. The last question for now.
Thanks. So I'm still trying to grasp the concept of an agent. So is it, correct me if I'm wrong, is it a piece of code that like issues some task to an LLM, like calling an OpenAI endpoint, getting the results and doing some action on it? Is it just that? Like,
you're quite close, yes. Or when it's an MCP, it's the other way around. When it's MCP, it's LLM who is understanding what is the function that they could call, and then,
calling the code from the text.
Yes. So you have LLM like the Claude that I shown, and it sees that I expose the function turn the light on. So it sees this function, and it sees that I'm allowed to execute the function.
So the agent is the light on function that is?
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of, okay. Code interacting with the text LLM.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Alexander, thank you for your talk. Thank you for all the answers that you had to the questions. Please, big applause to Alexander.
Thank you.
And I have a small announcement before we go to the next talk. I did. Okay. Before we go to the speech of Keanu Harel and Damian Bielecki, and also to the lightning talk of Kuba Pawłot, who is going to speak about unboxing issues for polymorphic React components. Some of you who are near to the door smells already pizza. So we are going to do an unusual step. So we are not going now for the second talk. We will have a break so that you can eat some very good, tasty and warm pizza. We are going to have like a half an hour break. So we meet here at 8:10. So good. Yeah. Break for pizza. Enjoy it.
Jeżeli szukasz pracy w IT i lubisz kaczki, to wejdź na The Protocol IT i znajdź dopasowane do Ciebie oferty z opisem technologii, widełkami wynagrodzeń i zespołem dopasowanym konkretnie do Ciebie. The Protocol IT. Konkretne oferty pracy. Konkretnie dla Ciebie. Jeżeli szukasz pracy w IT i lubisz kaczki, to wejdź na The Protocol IT i znajdź dopasowane do Ciebie oferty z opisem technologii, widełkami wynagrodzeń i zespołem dopasowanym konkretnie do Ciebie. The Protocol IT. Konkretne oferty pracy. Konkretnie dla Ciebie. Jeżeli szukasz pracy w IT i lubisz kaczki, to wejdź na The Protocol IT i znajdź dopasowane do Ciebie oferty z opisem technologii, widełkami wynagrodzeń i zespołem dopasowanym konkretnie do Ciebie. The Protocol IT. Konkretne oferty pracy. Konkretnie dla Ciebie. Jeżeli szukasz pracy w IT i lubisz kaczki, to wejdź na The Protocol IT i znajdź dopasowane do Ciebie oferty z opisem technologii, widełkami wynagrodzeń i zespołem dopasowanym konkretnie do Ciebie. The Protocol IT. Konkretne oferty pracy. Konkretnie dla Ciebie.
Welcome back after the break. I hope you enjoyed the pizza and also some other beverages that we have. Our next speaker, it's Keanu Harrell. Welcome on the stage. Give him a hand.
Thank you very much.
The stage is yours.
Yes. Thank you very much. So I hope that everyone enjoyed the pizza. Yes, no worries. So today I'm here because I'm talking about a subject that I'm very passionate about, which is infrastructure. And so I'm going to talk about a tool which is called SST, which stands for Serverless Stack. And my topic is serious infrastructure without losing your sanity. And of course, I'm Keanu Harrell. So, quick intro about me. So of course, I'm obviously based in Warsaw. I'm a cloud and platform engineer. And we're going to go through all of the steps that I went to arrive to this tool that I've discovered. So, the problem that I had initially, I wanted to learn cloud development because it's a subject that, for me, it's very modern. It's something that is very useful nowadays, especially with AI and so on. So, but the issue is that every tutorial that I was looking for, it was like documentation, or it was feeling like preparing to a certification. It wasn't like real life topics and problems that we had, or not even exercising. Yes, as I'm saying, like it was books, videos, certifications. This was the big problem that I had initially. I didn't like it because I just wanted to learn about it. I was spending a lot of hours on basically these tutorials and not learning much about how it is in the real life. So that's when I discovered a tool called SST. So I was looking at someone that is called WebDevCody. So it's a YouTuber that's making videos about any topic in IT. So that's the link to the video that I discovered. And so in this video, he showed the new tool called SST, which is a tool which is based on Pulumi and Terraform, and that can create live infrastructure to perform different type of services. Not perform, but deploy, I'm sorry. So let's talk about a classic AWS architecture. So this is a small file, example of how Terraform would look like. We would have like many tools, many resources, many things that would come up. So for example, the first one, it's about how to create a Lambda. If anyone is not aware what's a Lambda, it's just a small pieces of code that you borrow through the internet. For example, Warsaw is doing this. Whenever you're doing an API call or even just a call to Warsaw, that's a serverless that's getting deployed, not deployed, but called. For example, we have different resources like roles, API gateways, and so on. But in SST, it's much easier. For example, with these 10 lines, you are able to deploy what's a Next.js full stack application. So you only need one line of code, and SST is doing all of the work behind the scenes. So what it's doing, it's deploying the Lambda functions that are doing all of the API, all of the API calls behind it, the API gateway to go through these different functions. the CDN, which is basically how you would have an URL that's discovered and deployed on the internet. S3 buckets for different type of static files and so on. So everything is done automatically by SST. So we are going to do a live demo. So anyone can take their phone and go to this website. It will come up with something like asking you to wait. It should. So whenever people are ready, you can just, I'm just going to wait a few minutes, a few seconds. Okay, so I think that everyone is here. So for the first demo that we'll have a real-time chat. So I'm going to enable it. Yes. So you should be seeing the chat on your phone, and you can ask anything. So type your favorite tech stack in the chat. And of course, we'll see all of the messages coming. Oh, quite some messages. So I can see Quarkus and React. I'm not aware of Quarkus, unfortunately. But yeah, so what I'm showing you right there, it's exactly what SST is used for. All I've done is created a real-time chat application, all done by SST. So I just have like one GitHub repo with one project, and I'm able to deploy an application that's able to do that, and even connect it to a slideshow, a presentation. So I'm going to show how it is done. Job database. So for that, the chat you just used that's how it's deployed. That's how the real time is deployed. So behind the scenes, it's using something called AWS IoT, which is for MQTT brokers. And so what it's doing, it's creating topics that you can subscribe and publish different messages. And for example, we're just publishing a message to a topic that everyone is subscribed to. So which means that anyone that is publishing the topic can just access it later. Exactly what I just described. We're going to have a second demo. Nothing too much more. So you should be seeing it. I have a simple question. What scares you the most? I don't know if you're seeing it on your phone. You should be seeing it. And so that's exactly the same. So we were just using, once again, AWS IoT with real time. And I'm saying that production on Friday, I guess, is the scariest. I couldn't understand it because then there is a weekend, and that's very problematic. And nobody wants to be on standby. OK, so I think we can go to the next step. So for the next step, so that's how the vote system was created. So what was done is typically just, so this is the Lambda function behind it. That's how it was created. We can see that, so that's when a call is being made, when we are trying to send a message or send a vote, this function is called, so this handler is called. We are getting the vote through the JSON that's being passed. Then we'll just put the vote in the database using ElectroDB, in DynamoDB, in DynamoDB. And then we'll broadcast the event. As you can see, it's very easy, very trivial, and everyone can do it. And that's the good thing about SST. Exactly what I said. It's real-time aggregation. There isn't any error because it's very easy, as you can see. So for now, I'm just demonstrating a few demonstrations. I'm just doing a lot of demos, but we're going to do something together and make an application from scratch. So I'm just going to talk about what SST did for me. So it made me able to do anything that I wanted, so which is learning how to do cloud infrastructure and environments. I was able to not be feared because, so the issue with when you want to do cloud infrastructure, you're getting in front of an AWS account or GCP or Azure account. And when you're deploying a new thing, for example, let's say an EC2, which is a virtual private server, the issue is that you can deploy it, but at some point you can forget about it. And the building is continuing. Like it will not stop until you stop it manually. So that's the issue when you're doing cloud infrastructure by hands, is that sometimes you can forget resources that you've created. And that's when infrastructure as code is coming and SST is coming. So I've used SST, which is a tool for infrastructure as code, which made me able to not fear anymore trying to do infrastructure, to get instant feedback, because I'm going to show you how is the developer experience. I think that's the greatest experience, because from now on, I've just shown you how is the infrastructure being made. But we are going to make it ourselves. So one of the great advantages of SST is that it has a great local development and live demonstration. So typically, when you want to have a new developer that's coming in the team, you have to set up everything. You have to set up the computer. You have to set up the environment. You have to download all of the new tech stack. Like, let's say you want Node 20 for one project and Node 22 for another project. That's very difficult sometimes, and it has to be managed manually. So that can be an issue when you're onboarding a new developer in a new team. And that's why SST is very useful, because you have access to live and real AWS infrastructure in developer environment. So let's try it together. So I've just took, so SST is providing a monorepo GitHub repository that you can just clone and change it yourself to try different actions. I'm going to show a bit how it's done. So we have two main folders. The main one is infrastructure, which is all of the infrastructure, that's all of the files that's defining the infrastructure. As we can see, there is an API that's just created like this. We are just saying that we want to have a function called myAPI, and that the handler, so where to find the function, so it will be located in package, functions, SRC, and API. And that's where the API will be. We have a storage, which is an S3 bucket, so S3 is simple storage service, and a database that will be done later. We have this main file, which is the main file, the beginning of the project, and that's where everything starts. As you can see, we have the project called monorepo template, because I haven't changed the name. The removal, there is some guardrail and protection for production mode, which stops us from removing the production, which is very useful. And I mean, we're just going to launch it because I think it's easiest. So I haven't launched it yet, so it will be live. So as you can see, I've just done bundev, which is for starting the developer environment. Oh, I'm having an issue, unfortunately. Okay, wait 1 second. So that's the part of live development. Oh, I know why. Yes. Okay, that should be it. So it will deploy right away automatically, because it's listening to all of the events and the thing that we're changing. And right now, you can see that it's creating the AWS infrastructure behind it. So it's creating the bucket that's going to handle and store all of the files and the function by itself. We're going to have the role, because AWS is working with roles, and that's how it works. So as you can see, it's already done. So we have access to the function. So if I open it, it can take some time because there is a cold start. But as you can see, the function is live. So anyone can access it on this website, on this URL. It's current. So let's take an example. We want to add, for example, a database. We want to add a DynamoDB database. If people are not aware what's DynamoDB, it's a NoSQL database, pretty much like, let's say, MongoDB, but for AWS. And it's serverless, so which means that we don't have to provision it, and when we don't have users, we are not paying for it. So I'm going to enable the Dynamo infrastructure. So I'm going just to say, okay, I want to have this type of database. So let's not care about how it's done, because it's not a problem for right now. And let's see what we can do. So I can add what I changed and put DynamoDB again. Here in my API, let's wait for it to deploy. Okay, so as we can see right now, the DynamoDB database is being created. I mean the table, because it's working as tables. And I mean, it will come live, and then we can try to use different things. Oh, so it's already done. So right now the DynamoDB is live and we can access it. So let's check it by going back to the same URL. Oh, we have a problem. So we can go to this place. Okay, no, I think it should be good. It was just some cache. Okay, so as you can see before, we didn't have this database object in the JSON that was provided by the API call, and now it came back, and now we can see it, and we can see the name of the table and the name of the bucket. Now let's try. I've prepared some routes, some curl that we can do. So as we can see in the API, there is mostly 4 routes. The first one, which is just getting back a message, and the bucket and the DynamoDB, a name, a health check, which is just a health check, which comes with status. Then the events, a post events, which is to create an event in the database, and then a get events, which is getting all of the events in the database. So what I can do right now is I can use this curl to access it. So let's get, for example, this one. We are going to put it here. I just need to fill in the API URL that I'm getting right here. So we've just created an event, and now so we can check it on this route. We can see that this event is in the database. Let's add another one. Let's add, for example, maybe this one to try. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, and now let's check. We should have a second one. And yes, so now we've got a second event that was created in the database and that we can access with the API that's created on AWS. So let's get back quickly to the last few slides that I've got. Okay, so now what we've seen is that there is the local development. So there is hot reload, which is something amazing with Lambdas and AWS infrastructure because it's live and real. So I'm going to express why I'm sharing this. So I might have shared it a bit wrongfully because it's my first talk in English. So I'm sorry for maybe being too talkative. Right, don't worry. No worries. But I wanted to share this because initially, so this was a problem that I had. I was too scared to try things, and I just wanted to learn. I was angry, and I just wanted to do more things, to try new things. And so SST made me able to do it without being scared because there is some guardrails. It's creating all of the things that we don't have to care about, like roles, IAM, permissions, and so on. And so that's something that helps us as a developer. It made me learn because I was building. And every time you build, that's when you learn. You're not learning by just reading documentation and so on. And I found confidence because now I'm confident enough to try a live presentation in a conference. I mean, I was a bit scared initially, to be honest. And that's it. So that's the demo. So that's the code of what was created, the infrastructure. So all of this presentation is also coded with something called SlideDev, which is like a Vue.js presentation, which makes it which means that anyone can access it online. And yes, and on the side, it's how to create an SST project. So thank you very much, and I hope that it was clear. Oh, and small talk, if anyone is still on the website that I shared, there should be something like email. If you want to get some resources about anything that I've done, you can just put your email, and you would just get an email with like resources and links and so on.
Nice. Thank you, Keanu, very much. And it's really great that you made it, that you shared this with us. Yeah, you beat the fear, you beat the voice inside saying like, hey, I cannot. Now you can. And the more you do, the better you're going to get it. Yeah, to do it. Do we have any questions? Yeah, I see there was like hand going up very quickly.
Okay, great talk. You're a natural. My question is, well, first of all, it looks very useful. I remember I experimented with serverless functions, and I constantly redeployed after every change. It was I don't know if it was optimal approach, but that's me. But my question is, how did you make the errors in French? In your editor, you had like, I don't know, it was linter or TypeScript, it was in French. It was like, whoa, I can have it in my own language?
Yeah. Actually, yes. So I've downloaded an extension in French for VS Code. So I don't know if it's in Polish though, but in French I have it.
We will make that in Polish.
Yeah, actually you can do it. But yeah, it's pretty useful because I mean, I was developing, I was in a company where the French was the main language. Nobody was speaking English, so it was very useful like to share code with other people and screenshots and so on.
Imagine doing this in Polish and like custom WarsawJS stuff, of course, with a little bit of, you know, like tongue-in-cheek, like, you made a mistake here, you damn, well, you know, maybe not, but Berlin Code of Conduct, but, you know.
We are not going to point out any mistakes. Okay, any other questions?
Hey, so it looks like SST is doing the same work as Terraform is doing, but just as like a order of magnitudes faster. So how does it do it?
Yes, that's a good question. So, so how it's working typically is that it's so it's doing live coding by so it's doing a proxy, which technically it's whenever there is like your code, it's processed locally when you have it locally. For example, I had this API right there. Whenever I do a call, it's going back to my computer to make the call locally and then ship it back to online. So it's doing like some sort of proxy to just use my local computer to process it, if I'm aware.
So does it emulate AWS locally and deploy in the background or something?
No, actually, I think I said it wrongly, but so it's, no. I was wrong about this, I'm sorry, I said something wrong. So what it's doing typically, it's just taking the code. So it's like, it's not, it's just not shipping the code every time. It's just doing this proxy to get the code and execute it on the Lambda. Because what I saw is that whenever I'm in the developer environment, there is a cold, like not a cold start, but there is like a Lambda of milliseconds. Let's say that I'm doing the call on like in a deployed infrastructure. It will take me 20 milliseconds. If I'm doing it while it's in developer environment, it will take from 80 to 100 milliseconds. So there is just this small lambda of time that is being processed.
So the runtime of the dev is slower because it's doing some magic to make it kind of deploy faster.
Yes, exactly.
Oh. Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning, you were commenting out something with Dynamo. I think it was events database or something. If you would comment this out now, then would you delete everything what's in the database currently?
So in the developer environment, yes. Let's say that right now I have it live. Okay, I'm going just to comment it. It's going to do some magic here, and it's going to remove it.
And it deletes everything what's...
Yes, but that's why there is this guardrail here where it says protect and removal, that it will not remove in these specific stages.
Thank you very much.
We have a question from the streaming.
Yes, question from Ilarion. how does SST handle the creation of stateful resources like that databases?
Okay, that's a very good question, and that's where the magic comes from. So when you are in the developer environment, it's not creating any databases, it's using your local database. And so what you have to I mean, it can create it actually, but you can also have either it creates it automatically and you have it online. Let's say like right now, I want to have, okay, I'm going to uncomment it, but right now I can create an RDS database that I can access, or even Neon, because there is multiple providers. I can create it and have it processed and provisioned right away. But I can also put some options saying that in the developer environment that I don't want to use a real database RDS that is deployed. I want to use my local database like that's running on Docker. And you can do that because it's doing this proxy magic thing that it can access your database. And it's the same with, for example, if you want to have an EC2 or like ECS, which is Elastic Container Service, which is like Kubernetes but AWS native, then you can also say that you want to have it locally, and it just runs npm run dev or bun dev or whatever locally. So yes.
Last question. I'll go there, yeah.
Okay, thank you for the talk. So can you tell me what about actually the production stuff? Because you showed how to use it locally in order to quickly spin off and then delete environments, let's say, like in Terraform. But what if you want to have like a production environment that is protected? Like you showed that, for example, if we don't want to delete the database, we can have this line of code. But let's say somebody removes it for just out of mistake in a production configuration, then my production will go down because of some strange issues, or?
So actually that's a specific case where you wouldn't give, so in AWS you can have this, so you can create different accounts that's processing different environments. Let's say you can create an account specifically for the production environment. You wouldn't give the access to anyone, and you would just put it on your CI/CD or whatever you're doing. And so it means that the CI/CD would rule, and so then you would do just some branch protection, and which means that to push your code to pull request your code to the main environment, production environment, you would have to do some check, and then you can just stop it right away. So in a way, it's not really possible if you do it correctly. But I mean, you can do whatever you want. So I can, like now, I can remove it and remove my environment, but it's my fault. So it's just a question of not designing, but architecturing your processes.
Thank you very much. That was the last question. Keanu, thank you very much. Instead of saying like you made some mistakes, I would say byłeś świetny, which means you were really, really great. Yeah, so I cannot wait to see another talk from you.
Thank you very much.
Give him a hand, applause for Keanu. Thank you very much. Yeah, JetBrains license. We have one JetBrains license to give away. Could you please tell us which question was the best and whom would you give this license? It's hard to choose.
Yeah, it's.
No, you have anyway your micro.
Actually, it's very difficult because all of the questions were very great, but to be honest, I like the last one the most, I would say. Because
you're getting the JetBrains license. Just get in touch with me after the meetup, please. Thank you very much. Regarding the JetBrains license, that was from the talk of Alexander. We are in touch with him, so he's basic. We know already.
The very first question: how to improve the quality of.
Ah, nice. So Alexander went already. He had something important to do. But he wrote us that the person who asked the very first question is going to get the license. I know he was like right in the, yes, you, because you were sitting there in the back, yeah, nice. So you're getting also a JetBrains license, yeah. So after the meetup, please just get in touch with me. And nice. We are coming slowly to the next speaker, which is Damian Bielecki, the type of RODO, so the type of GDPR, right? And he's going to tell us a bit about GDPR.
Yay.
Welcome to the stage. Give him a hand. Yeah, just a minute or a half, just some technical things for us.
Janek, are we okay?
Ready?
Janek?
Janek?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Does it work? Let's see.
Should. If not, you have.
No, okay, it doesn't. So no problem. So I want to talk with you about GDPR and about privacy by design. And I'm very happy that you are still here. You want to listen about some of my legal mambo jumbo. I hope it's of use for you. And what can I say about me? As you heard, my name is Damian Bielecki. I'm known as Typ od RODO, which means exactly GDPR dude. And I'm dealing with the GDPR and data protection. And at first I will be talking a little faster because I want to talk with you about the myth and what's the most important in GDPR for you. But to talk about this, I firstly need to make sure that you are aware what I'm talking about. There are some basic legal definitions that you should be aware of. And it was hard for me to decide about the model because GDPR is already quite old act. It's in force for the last 7 years. There are children in school that didn't live in the wonderful world before of the GDPR. So some of you probably already had like 20 GDPR training lessons. Some hear about this for the first time. And the first most important question that you probably have is, why should I care? And one of the biggest traps of the lawyers is that they are talking about fines. Probably most of you that are aware of GDPR already heard about the fines and that they are up to 20 million, 4% of global turnover. You don't care about this. I'm pretty sure if you are new, you have new business, you want to create a startup, a unicorn, you want to sell it as fast as possible, you don't care about the risk. If you are an employee, then you don't care about the risk because you think that either you will change the job in the next 3 years, or maybe because you think that your boss will be the one responsible. So I know that the fines never work. And also the GDPR is quite big, but different countries have different, let's say, rules, how the fines are given. In Poland, of course, there's the possibility that you go to jail, but for the last 7 years, no one went to jail. Only one health ministry received this fine, but he still didn't go to the jail. So you only care about the millions that you won't see because you are only earning like annual $10. So there's nothing to be fine about. The more important thing for you is making boss happy. And what I'm saying is that probably I know that in your industry, in your work, you are very often having some KPIs, you need to manage with some tasks. You are saying that you have big project and you'll be paid if the project is delivered on time. And there's nothing worse than creating a project, being ready to launch when Mr. in suits from the legal department is coming in and saying, you are making stuff that is illegal, you need to wait 3 weeks because we are busy and we won't look at your project, but it won't go without my acceptance. So having some basic knowledge about GDPR or legal stuff makes it so that the DPO guy, data protection officer, is less angry and is less likely to visit you and postpone your projects. So this is if you are employee. So if you are owner of a company, then there's a bigger problem of audits. And we can talk about audits in B2B and B2C, because if we are talking about B2B, then we are having so-called due diligence. Because firstly, if you want to have a unicorn company, if you want to create great app and sell it to some other company and be rich and live without working, then you will go through so-called due diligence process or DD. So it's a process where one company that is buying another company is hiring a lot of lawyers that are checking everything in your company and to verify how much should they pay for your app. The more fuck-ups you have, the less they will pay. So this is the basic rule that when I'm going to various networkings of lawyers right now, 50% of lawyers are new technology lawyers. They have a knowledge of GDPR. So for the last 2 years at least, I know that the GDPR is one of the most basic things that are checked. And there are some things that, of course, as a lawyer, I can find a way to mitigate a lot of mistakes. But some of mistakes in GDPR can be repaired in a very easy way, just like if you had an infection. If you have an infection and it's not treated in time, then the hand or leg has to be amputated. And in GDPR, in some cases, it's quite similar. And secondly, in your area of business, a lot of businesses work as a provider of some services. So in the end, if I have time, I will talk about what is the data processor, because the service provider most of the time is data processor, and data processors because half of the fines in Poland is because of not verifying a data processor or service providers. They are right now audited. And probably if you are giving access to personal data from a company that is paying to you, they will want to make even a basic audit. And when we are auditing, we only want to make sure that the paperwork looks fine. But if the first thing you ask is what's GDPR, then you will have a big problem. And the company will have a very hard time to prove that they can use your services. And there's also because it's the supplier verification and due diligence, but there's also the thing in Poland called nawiedzony klient, the haunted client. If people don't like legal because we are talking about some strange things and things that never happen. Well, it's true that your friend can have an illegal company for the 10 years and he can be laundering money and it will be fine. But you start a business and you are fined the next day or go to jail. That's your luck. And as a legal, we are aware of that and we are trying to tell you about all of the possible risks. And believe me, GDPR is created in such a way that it's very easy to make a big problem for a company. If someone is aware of his laws, he's aware about the, let's say, gray areas of GDPR, he can give you a very hard time to fight with him, and you have to pay bigger money to the lawyers to then respond to this haunted client. It's just a mess. So in different countries, different level of awareness, but GDPR in Poland is on meme level, and everyone, and in every movie, or even romantic movies, talk about GDPR, so people know about this. And if they often think they have some rights, but they do not have rights, but they think so, and they'll just all the time talk to you and tell you to change something, or they go to the governing authority. So in short, this is the main reasons why you should care. And the next question is, who should care? All of you? Part of you? So first thing is that the GDPR concerns processing of personal data, and the territorial scope, so-called, are everyone in European Union. Many people think that GDPR only applies to companies. In practice, yes, because no one will be fining me as a person, but in pure theory, GDPR is created in such a way that anyone that is processing personal data is obligated to comply with GDPR, unless there's one of things that overrule this. But for now, let's say that if you have business, there's no way in Europe, there's no way for you not to comply with GDPR unless you have no personal data. But if you have employees, then it's already impossible. The second thing that people are not aware of is that anyone that is targeting European citizens. So for example, you have a company in Ukraine, or you have company in Turkey, Serbia, United States. If you are targeting European citizens, then you also have to comply with GDPR. And of course you can say, why should I care? I can't be fined. That depends. Because firstly, if you are a service provider, work mainly as outsourcer, then people in European Union won't be interested in having a business with you, because they'll know that you are working in illegal way. They need to have a proof that you have been checked. And secondly, maybe it's not very often that it happens, but I know a situation where the authorities of European Union, because they have such enforcement, they decided to ban some form of services. Maybe you heard about ChatGPT. It's an app that they use to ask AI about. Yeah. So maybe it's starting to get big, and it was banned fully in Italy. In Italy, it was illegal to use ChatGPT as a whole because it was considered to be a form of storing too much data. And I think the second banned app was, I think, Known Faces, but I'm not Known Faces. It was something with Clearview AI or something like this. So it is in theory possible that if you create too much heat, you are creating too much problems, that European Union will consider you to be highly illegal, to be highly problematic, and will create a lot of problems for you to work. Of course, if you are a small business, if you are a startup, and you are not doing something that is risky or innovative, then you probably don't have to worry about this. But it's nice to know that it happens. And this is one place where you can have a lot of questions. If you have, then ask. If not, then I will go through it very fast. Because personal data, what is personal data? Personal data is any information that is connected to a person, and it allows to verify him directly or indirectly. So direct verification is easy to understand. I have picture of someone and I can see him in the crowd. It's very easy. I have someone first name, last name, phone and social identity number. I can see them in all of the documents. It's very easy for me to track him. But yes?
Excuse me, but I'm like an
Yeah?
data protection officer. I would like to, I think that we would like to focus more on what we can connect, in our area.
Yeah, but that's why I want to skim it very fast, because I want to be sure that everyone is on the same ground. Because personal data, as I said, any information, even cookies, IP number, anything that you store that you can somehow track people will be considered personal data. And the second one is the processing. So data processing, it's anything that you do on data, no matter what form. There are only few exceptions concerning paper documents, but anything that's done in electronic form, on phones, on laptops, it will always be data processing. And now is the main topic, because we dealt with the problems, is the privacy by design and by default. This is the new rule that comes from GDPR, and this is one of the biggest changes in GDPR. By design means that you need to involve in your processes, in your apps, the principles of personal data, and they need to be on by default. It means that when you start the process, they already need to exist. It's not that we'll start now and we'll repair it for later. No, they need to be from the start. So for you, the most important thing is to understand the 7 core principles of data protection when creating an app or when doing any new process that involves personal data. And the biggest joke is that the first principle is principle of 3 rules. So the lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. Lawfulness may be less important for you. It means that what you are doing is illegal, must be legal. So the best example in Poland is that when you send a newsletter to someone, you need to have his consent. When you use someone's image publicly, you need to have his consent. Well, you need to, if something is innovative, you need to make sure that it just comply with local standards. The more important part is the fairness and transparency. It's hard to say which one is which, but the best example of it are the cookies. You probably heard about such thing as, now I of course forgot about, it's the dark patterns. So dark patterns is the way of manipulating the website, manipulating the content on the website in such way that the user will do what you want to do, but he won't be fully understanding what he did. So for example, you have cookie banner and you have big green button called accept all, and you have very small font text in the bottom without no color saying, no, I object. So this is form of not being fair. And of course, you can ask what type of cookie banner is legal. The cookies are covered by other legal act, and because of this, there's a dispute between governing authorities, not all are saying the same. So generally, by the fairness, you need to know that dark patterns are not something that will always be accepted, and also putting some clauses, small fonts, etc., they will be problematic. I think that slowly, because of other laws, people do not take fairness too much, except of the cookies. And the transparency, it will be more connected with other rules that we'll talk about in a second, but it means that you need to tell to the user in a language that he understands, what are you processing the data for. So, of course, if I have a Polish company and I am providing services mainly to Polish people, then the language should be in Polish. But if my aim is to provide services in other countries, maybe to someone in United Kingdom or in Italy, then probably I should think of using also the local language of Italian. Or maybe if I'm providing assistance to people with disabilities, then maybe also I should allow for the text to be readable by such people. And the next one is more understandable. It's one that is often not liked, let's say, but it's quite easy to understand. The purpose limitation means that you only collect data for the specific purpose. So if I say, okay, give me your email and I will use it to send to your newsletter, then I can't use this email then to sell that email to some other companies because I want to earn on this email. When I say that I gather the data only to the, for example, first and last name, the address to ship the product to the person, I can't use this data then to, I don't know, some analytics. It's not that it's illegal. It's possibly legal, but I need to inform him. The things that I said at the beginning are the most important things. If on the privacy by default level, I wasn't telling everything to the user, then probably it will be very hard to use it later. The next one is the data minimization. There are something that's one of the biggest problems for you, because it means that you only store the minimum amount of information that is necessary. And at least in Poland, because of course the governing authority will make the biggest conflicts about this, are that you can either understand it very strictly as an absolute minimum, and governing authority try to say it in this way. But also there's a more flexible, meaning that data minimization is the minimum amount necessary to do something in an efficient way. So, yeah. Yeah, because
otherwise we will be damned. We all should, encrypt all data and try to not to.
Yeah. Because currently this topic is still in the courts, because there's a very famous case in Poland that a school implemented a biometric way of entering a dining area. So the children wanted to eat, they needed to give her their fingerprints, or if they didn't give their fingerprints, they need to wait on the end of the line, and they need to have a book contained with samples that are proving that they are eligible to eat. So the governing authority stated that it was illegal. The court stated that was legal because the biometric way was not maybe minimum the way, but it was very efficient because children are forgetting to take the book from house. So it was just much easier. The next rule is the accuracy. Also, if someone is dealing with AI, then probably this rule will be one of the most important ones. Also, it will be important if you are dealing with profiling, because the accuracy means that you need to make sure that the data is accurate. For normal business, when you are, for example, some e-commerce, then of course people are putting their data in, they're putting their address, the product is going to their home. But if you are creating AI, then you need to make sure that the AI is not biased and that the data that it's giving out is true. And it's currently one of the biggest GDPR guardians, let's say, NOIB, are currently fighting with the OpenAI about this, because the AI is hallucinating, and if they say, tell me who is Damian Bielecki, and if it says Damian Bielecki is a serious murderer, then it's problem with the data accuracy, because he's providing false data that could possibly harm me. So, yeah. So that's accuracy could possibly be one of the more important ones. The next one is the storage limitation. So also one of the more controversial ones. It means that you only store data for as long as it is necessary, not 1 day longer. So this is problematic because everyone loves storing data for the lifetime, even longer than the company exists, and Polish authority at least is very highly against it. You need to understand that if you state that you are storing the data, you need to have a very good reason to store it, not saying that maybe one day it will help us. We need to have a good reason for this. And the last three ones, let's say, integrity and confidentiality, you understand it really well. It just means that you need to make sure that the data is not destroyed or the data is not leaked to someone that is not authorized to it. And the last rule that people are laughing about and they do not like GDPR is the accountability. All of those principles that I were talking, okay, you can say we checked it, it's fine. But authorities want to have proof on everything in paper. If I am saying that the data is secure, then I need to have a document that someone performed an audit. When I'm saying that the data subject was informed about processing, then I need to have a proof that he received the privacy notice. And that's the problem of the accountability. And the bigger the company, the more documents you need to create. But when you are a small company, then of course, there's nothing to worry about. And as I said, this is the most important part that I wanted to tell about. So as I understand, the time is finishing, so 1 minute. So the last minute I will be given on the roles. But this is one of the biggest problem for me as DPO or someone data protection. The better I know about it, the better I am, is that there are two important roles in GDPR, the data controller and the data processor. And they decide what you have to do. Data controller is the one that is deciding why they have the data and how the data is used, while the processor is the one that is listening to the data controller. So for example, if you have e-commerce, then I am as e-commerce deciding to whom I am selling and what I'm selling and what do I require what data to sell it to them. The data processor is for example, the email provider, is the hosting provider, because they do not care about the data. They do not want they want me as e-commerce to pay to them for the services, while the processor only has the data because he was ordered to. And all of those things actually are the requirements of the controller directly, but he can verify whether his supply provider is also performing it and to make sure that he as a data controller is fully compliant. So that is all that I wanted. In the presentation, I think there will be some few basic stuffs also, but if you, as a programmer, if you are creating any app, if you know the principles, then most of the work is already done.
Thank you very much for your great talk. I think it's necessary for all of us to know all those things, and I think that you would have also like much more to say about it. Yeah, so maybe you can have a talk also in the future, like
if
next
I'm
one.
always happy. I love talking about GDPR. So there are the rest of the stuff is a lot of paperwork for me as a DPO, not for the company owner of its employees. The most basic rules. The basic training that I'm giving to employees takes about 30 minutes, so it's the same. So that's the most important ones that you should know.
Nice. Do we have any questions? Oh, yes.
Damian, tell me, I'm creating an app and I know that indirectly the app is collecting personal data, but actually if I really think about this, I'm not sure. Because look,
that's the work of the DPO. You are so afraid of asking questions that you already resolved that problem.
So my question is, my app is collecting photos of someone's clothing, and I don't know if the person is putting their or her clothing or not, but they are making pictures. The pictures, actually, if I inspect it very wisely, I would say, okay, so this person has an M size, and it's like not a sure fact, but something that potentially could be personal. So what's what was your jurisdiction? Is it personal data or not? Personal photos of their clothing equipment at their home. You can't be sure it's there, but
so there are two things. I will cut it short by one definition of whether it's personal data. It doesn't matter as much. I would say that it is personal data just for the safety reasons. But what does it mean that it's under GDPR? The biggest problem, if you have to comply with GDPR when providing such services, is that you need to inform the data subject that you are processing his personal data. Yeah? So there's one article stating that if you don't have his contact details, then you don't need to search for the contact details, only to provide him with the privacy notice. So you have the photos, but you don't have to inform no one about that you have those photos, because there's no way to inform about it. Maybe you have some general information on your website that if you see your face here and you don't want to have your face there, tell us, show us your pictures in those clothes, and we'll remove it. So this is one way that I would go because it's safer, because even if it's not personal data, then for safety reasons, I would still make sure that the data is secure, that the data output is accurate. So I would just go this way. I would try my best not to gather any contact information of those people that are on those pictures. And secondly, if you want to be 100% sure, then I would say that you should have an AI. If you are already having AI that is gathering their clothes, then maybe also have an AI that is anonymizing their faces. Because then you are 95% sure that you don't have personal data. Because the other 5% are people that have very, let's say, identifiable tattoos. But for example, Mike Tyson, you don't need to see his face, but his tattoo is unique and he's the only person with such tattoo. It's one of those events then that you have personal data even if you don't have his face.
Yes. We have time actually only for one more question. Yeah. I'll ask some here. You didn't have a question before. I'm sorry.
So very nice talking. I wanted to ask you if you made a website, do you have to add like some way of protecting the data as a part of this or not? Like to have a safety against like cyber attacks, for example.
There are two questions that you need to answer. First is the convenience, and second is the security. So convenience is that if you if you gather any personal data, then the best way to inform the user about personal data is giving link to your website. So if the question concerned privacy notices, then website is just the easiest way. You have some safeguards that, hey, this person could read this, it's on our website. But if you're talking about security measures, then strictly depends whether you have any place where the person can store his data and whether this place can be hijacked. Because me as someone that is working highly in the financial sector, I know that websites that allow for paying with card can have this formula for providing cardholder data hacked, and then you'll have a big problem. I'm not sure which airlines, but one UK airline had such accident that someone hacked their website by swapping the display. So generally speaking, if you have a small business and you're only gathering email for newsletter, then I wouldn't care too much about the GDPR problems with the data breach. It's more problem of PR if someone hack your website and start showing some, let's say, nasty pictures on it, or because in some way it can harm your reputation. GDPR is the smaller problem there.
Thank you very much. Okay. Applause for Bielecki. Can you tell us which question got the JetBrains license?
JetBrains, no, there's two people on how to tell. This the second question.
The second question.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So after the meetup, please come to me, and get in touch. Thank you very much. Now is the time for a lightning talk from Kuba Pawłot.
Dobra, dawaj. Dobra. To włączamy już? Dobra. Mhm.
Give a hand to Kuba.
Tak. Dołączyłem.
I udostępnię ekran cały.
Dobra.
Chcesz prompt?
Nie potrzebuję. Dostępnij.
Entire screen.
Entire screen. Share, and we're here. Oh, one thing, I cannot see it on the screen here for some reason. Maybe it will appear in a moment. Hopefully.
Have you chosen mirroring?
Yeah, one more time maybe. Just let it wake up. Yes, should be here. Oh, no, not again. It was fine for a moment before, but it's not.
Czekaj. No coś tu musi przejść. Rzutnik odmawia współpracy już.
Is it the same device that I had before? Yeah. Oh yeah, it appeared.
How?
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 I don't know. Okay.
It froze for a moment. Does it
No,
work now?
works.
Does it work? Okay, it works. Okay.
Try not to
Awesome.
Udostępnię ekran jeszcze.
Nie mam teraz?
Nie ma.
Udostępniam. Entire screen. Sure. Maybe the screen sharing. Oh yeah. Okay. So I hope you still are ready for some code-heavy presentation. It's 5 minutes, so yeah, thanks. So yeah, let me hide it. Yes, awesome. So my name is Kuba. I'm a software engineer at Dropbox. I'm on the design systems team, so that means that we are creating an internal component library for product engineers to use. And today I wanted to talk to you about polymorphic React components and some issues with them. So what's a polymorphic React component? There's a simple example here, a button component where the users can pass the element to render. It can be an anchor, it can be a button, and this is what will be rendered, and we can have some common logic to share between those two. But it can get more complicated. What we wanted to do in our design system, we wanted to have a component which will allow the users to style their components in a type-safe way. We call it a box. It's a common name. Such component is in multiple component libraries. And what it takes the as prop, which is the element render. It takes some props for this element, and it takes a list of styles. It takes a prop for each style that should be applied, and each of those styles can use design system tokens. So it's not like some arbitrary values, but we have, for example, large padding defined, and users can set it on their component. I won't dive into the details of the implementation, but let me share with you some issues with this box component. So there can be props conflicts, for example. If you have the same prop on box and the same prop on the component that you are passing to as, for example, gap, which is like a common thing, a CSS property, but can also mean something different. You don't really know if the gap belongs to box or it belongs to cart. Yeah, you don't know what will happen. And another problem is forward ref. So if you want to give the users a reference to the component and you want it to be type safe, then you end up with like 100 lines of complicated generic TypeScript types, which will break whenever you upgrade TypeScript. Yeah, not great. So we thought maybe as child this pattern will be better. This is something like a pattern used in some component libraries, for example, Radix UI. So instead of passing the element render in a prop, you pass it as a child of the component, and the props are separated. You can see that the gap belongs to the cart, not to the box. But there are some other problems, for example, type safety. So React with TypeScript is not great in keeping the children of components type safe. So you cannot ensure, for example, that the component you are passing as child will support the on-click event that you pass to box. Because how it works is that the properties are merged, the ones defined on box are merged with the ones defined on card. So on-click should be also supported on card for this to work. And we have no way to ensure that with TypeScript. And another problem is the confusion where you should put the props, actually, because you can put on-click on the box, you can put it on card. Some users can use it in one way, and to make cause confusion, it may cause some inconsistencies. So it didn't really solve our problems. So what we did, we went back to analytics, what we should have done in the beginning. So we checked how the users use our components, how they use the box, so that we can help them, we can improve the box without breaking their usages. So we found that 90% of box usages were actually simple divs or spans. It weren't some complicated custom components, just simple containers, and just 10% was styling of some custom components that the users passed. So we've realized that we actually have two boxes in one, and we have to split them. So first one is a simple container. It can be just a div or a span. It takes all the design system styles, and yeah, can be just used across the code. And you can apply the design system styles easily. And we get rid of the generic TypeScript types. We only have a type union because there are only two element types that we support. There are no props configs because we know which props are already on spans and on divs, so we can avoid adding them to box. Yeah, it's fine. And if anybody wants to get more complex, they get a styling util function, which basically returns class names for the design system tokens. So you can get your component and just apply some class names that we give you with return from the util function. And this is what we ended up with. This is how we solved the problem. Thanks.
Thank you, Jakub, very much. We have time for one question from the audience here. And if there is something from the streaming, no. Any question from the audience? Yes.
Yes, so you talked about how you decided to move away from type inference for props, but could you share a little more details about how you implemented props inference in the first place? Because that's the problem I'm battling with right now.
Oh, okay. So in the first version of Box, the one that had, where you could pass any component to it?
Yes.
So there are multiple versions of this code on the internet, basically. What we've done a compilation of code found in multiple blogs where people try to solve this problem. There are different versions which work in different versions of TypeScript. So if you want the one that works with newest one, you need to find the right one. But basically, yeah, the code is there online and you just have to find it. I can share it with you if you want.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay. Give an applause to Kuba. It's very nice small talk.
Empty props?
Yeah, like where...
We are coming slowly to the end of our meeting. We have a survey for you. I would like you all to scan the code and go for the survey and fill it out. We really appreciate what you will write there and what is your feedback for us. You have there also the information, like if you would like to have a talk about some topic, you can put it there as well. For example, the talk of today of the guy of the GBTR, this talk was because of our survey. So we got the information in the survey. Hey, it would be nice to have this topic. This is why we had it today. And we would like also to know what we can improve. What did you like? Maybe something not. Yeah, we are waiting for your responses. It's really appreciated. 6 responses. Nice. Seven. Can we make it to 10? I would love to have like 20.
Should I do it like 5 times or something?
From different accounts, right?
Okay. Too much effort.
But I hope you did it like once for yourself. I see some of you are still filling up the form, so we'll give 1-2 minutes more for it. I hope it's enough. Yay, 9. Oh, 8. Actually, I could even say like 10 because you showed it to me like this.
Yes, okay, 9.
9.
Just one more.
10. Yoo-hoo!
We can go home now.
No, not yet. We cannot go home yet. 11. Yay!
Wow. 13.
How many do we have?
13. I
13.
remember when we had so much responses.
Nice, nice. It's super. Whoa.
Is this survey in accordance with the GDPR?
Yes. Yes. Nice. Thank you very much. If you still didn't do it, I recommend to do it also at home. We really appreciate to have those answers from you, the feedback, because we would like to improve also our meetups so that we have better topics, we have more people here on board. And talking about next meetups, meetup number 132, it's coming soon, so it's going in 1 month. It's on the 12th November. And we have, at the moment, we have 3 speakers already signed up for it. So Łukasz Chudzinski is going to speak about my few first months with Links.js. Maciej Papiewski is going to speak about JavaScript daemons and how to find them. And Tomasz Nurkiewicz is going to speak about the illusion of immortality, temporals magic for reliable workflows. I think this all looks really very nice. Yeah, so I'm already excited about going there and listening to their talks. How to get to meeting number 132? You have 2 options. One of them is to buy a ticket for this one event. And at the moment, it's with discount, so we have like early bird tickets. So if you scan the code, it's going to be, I'm going to show you also the second option in a second. But if you scan the code, you can buy the ticket for the next WarsawJS Meetup. The second option is to buy a yearly ticket, which is, come back. Yeah. Which is going to be under the Meetup 142. So this is a code that you can scan, and you can get the yearly ticket for our meetups. This slide, you have also both of them. So if you don't know at the moment like what to decide, yeah, you have both of them. You can scan any of those codes or make a picture and then decide at home. We are very happy to see you there. That was it for today for our meetup. Thank you very much that you came. Come the next time to bring your friends. Sign up also for talks so that you can be also on the stage, like Keanu, for example. Yeah, big hands for him as well again. So bring your friends. Tell your colleagues, your friends. If you know that someone has a very nice topic, can speak about something that you can learn also from, or we can learn all from, tell them to sign up for the talk and just come and speak here. We will love to hear from them. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Jeżeli szukasz pracy w IT i lubisz kaczki, to wejdź na The Protocol IT i znajdź dopasowane do Ciebie oferty z opisem technologii, widełkami wynagrodzeń i zespołem dopasowanym konkretnie do Ciebie. The Protocol IT. Konkretne oferty pracy. Konkretnie dla Ciebie. Jeżeli szukasz pracy w IT i lubisz kaczki, to wejdź na The Protocol IT i znajdź dopasowane do Ciebie oferty z opisem technologii, widełkami wynagrodzeń i zespołem dopasowanym konkretnie do Ciebie. The Protocol IT. Konkretne oferty pracy. Konkretnie dla Ciebie.